Hello and welcome back to Bannerlord Modded. We're on the character screen here because I do have one perk point to spend, and it is just a formality really, because it just gives me a little bit of extra party size, which I very much appreciate, because at this point you kind of need that party size. I've said in the past that personally I don't really care for these party size increases, and that's true, but it's alright, you know? It's okay. It's going to help me somewhat to be able to field a slightly larger army, and it's just generally going to help me out in a few different ways. But it's not that exciting, you know? That's all I'm saying. Anyway, I've made up my mind, and thank you to those of you that sent me some messages about this. And what we're going to do, we're not going to be declaring war against the Western Empire. There's a good reason for that. Even though there's 100% support for that, there is a pretty significant amount of war exhaustion already on the line. And that's not something that I really want to deal with, because the war is just going to start and then it's going to be over before we know it. And that's not something that I really want to deal with. And the Palatians, okay, look at this. They have gained a massive amount of war support quite rapidly, actually. And it's now at 89%. And I'm pretty sure if I decided to propose this particular measure, they would be perfectly happy to go in here. However, they are providing us with a pretty good tribute every single day of almost 1,300 dinars. So there's basically no point in me doing that. So by a process of elimination, the Cortanian Vlandians will be the people that I will be proposing the war declaration against, because they have very few towns, very few castles, etc. in comparison to the Palatians, and they also have a pretty significantly lower war exhaustion than what we would have had otherwise with the Western Empire. So that's generally how I came to that decision. Now let me see if I can get the Lance of Destiny to be equipped here. And then we're going to be going in against Mr. Belgier and Mr. Cervic, potentially. I'm not entirely sure if we're going to be able to catch up to them. At this point, though, it seems as though, wow, we're actually pretty fast. I'm kind of surprised. Okay, that's pretty nice. Now, this guy's got -1 relation with me. He is the leader of his faction. So I'm thinking, well, not his faction, of his party, or of his clan, shall we say. So I'm actually going to say that we should try to persuade him. Oh, really? 57% chance? Okay, yeah, that's not going to work. Nope. Not unless I get another double chance, especially, yeah, 22% chance. No way. No way ever are we going to get this guy to join us. We couldn't even get through the persuasion attempt, which is actually hilarious. Anyway, I'm going to go into a manual battle here. I don't want to lose any units unnecessarily, so that's the reason why I'm doing that. If he had slightly less units, so if he had about 100 or so, I'd probably be much more likely to do that. My crossbowmen are shooting all the way from over here. In my opinion, that is foolish, because there's no way they're going to be able to hit anything from this distance. At least in my opinion. I don't think they would be able to, not even with the strongest crossbows in the world. I mean, maybe they would. Maybe they would, but still, I don't think they would be able to from there. Especially considering the enemy is taking up a very nice defensive posture, and as a result, they're highly unlikely going to be lowering that for anything whatsoever, and it's going to make a, well, very small dent in their shields, because that distance is going to make the projectile, whatever it has been fired, well, it's going to move much more slowly than it would have been otherwise. So definitely something to bear in mind there for the opponent, and they're doing a perfectly fine job. But yeah, my crossbowmen deciding to shoot then, probably not the best idea. Anyway, let's see if I can maybe deal with the enemy's vassals. That's the main thing that I would like to do here. If I can take out the enemy's vassals, we'll be in a really good position, and we could potentially force the opponent into an early retreat. And that's kind of what I want to do here, just eliminating them quickly enough so that we don't have to worry about dealing with the rest of their army, and I can hopefully keep my HP at a reasonable level, because as it stands right now, yeah, you know, it's not the best. I'm at 50%, just below 50% HP, and I would prefer keep it that way if at all possible, because once I do create that siege camp, we'll have a small opportunity to replenish our strength, I guess you could call it, before we head into the siege. But I believe that is indeed a victory for us right there. I mean, obviously it's going to be a victory, it's just a formality. But, yeah, I mean, there may be some people that say, why do you go in? Why do you attack these guys? Why do you attack these weaker parties? Well, it's kind of obvious, isn't it? I mean, there's no real need to pose that question at this point, because I've gone over it in the past. But if I must answer, it's just to reduce their combat strength. That's it. It's just to reduce their combat strength so that they cannot possibly form an extremely large army and then have that army be a nuisance to our AI friends. That's it. That is the only reason for it. There's no other reason, because my forces are pretty good. They're pretty high tier, so the experience gained from this is, well, negligible for the most part. And you've got to bear in mind that, well, the loot is pretty good. So, you know, gaining some cash from this is not too bad. You can see here the loot from it was quite numerous, so I'm pretty happy with it. Anyway, we're going to go into Dunglanis here. I know that in the last episode you actually saw the Palatians attempting to besiege this. As you can see, they're actually attempting to do it again, but I got in there first, and I'm gonna steal it from them, as you can see, because hilariously enough, the garrison in Dunglanis is only 200 strong because this army did massive damage to them. And that's exactly the reason why I was thinking to myself, okay, you know what? Let's do the Cortanian Vlandians then. Because it seems to me like that was basically fate or destiny or whatever. Because obviously we are using the Lance of Destiny, so it kind of makes sense, right? Anyway, I'm at 84% HP. I might be able to... shall we try and restore ourselves a little bit more? I think that's a bit too risky, because there is an army very close by, led by Aldrich, and we need to make sure that he doesn't attack us. Alright, so here we go. The ladders should be our main focus here, and bear in mind that the crossbows are obviously going to be firing here. Not too bad to see that. Now, someone did actually mention that I should probably head into the courtyard. Ow. Are you serious? Could you just leave me alone? Just while I get the ladder up, please. Just while I get the ladder up. Thank you. Ow. That really hurt. But yes. Hopefully they're gonna leave me alone long enough for me to get into the courtyard and open up the front gates. I was actually unaware that you could do this. I thought there was a possibility of it, but any time I've tried it in the past, it hasn't really worked out. So I'm not entirely sure if you are playing on a more up-to-date version of the game. That might very well be the case. Do bear in mind that I am playing on a... oh! He fell off. That is hilarious. Yeah, anyway, I am playing on a much older version of the game than some of you might be, because maybe you're playing on 1.6.0 or 1.6.1, but I'm playing on 1.5.9, which is quite a bit back in the game's versions, and that is only due to my mods being all compatible with that game version, of course. Now, this is problematic. Ow. Yes, that's exactly why that is problematic. That is really, really bad. There wasn't much I could do about that, unfortunately, because the enemy was very good at their dueling there. They were able to get me really, really easily because that guy was using a blunt weapon. The blunt weapon was obviously going to be able to deal with us very easily because, as you know, blunt weapons are absolutely fantastic against heavy armor, and that's exactly what I'm using, which is very frustrating indeed, but what can you do? What can you do about that? And I also should have told my people to charge in, because as you can quite clearly tell, they are not charging in, and they are losing many, many of their units as a result of them just standing outside. So that's obviously a big problem. But I'm hopeful that the very few amounts of units that we have in the opponent's garrison should fall before us, even though we are only sending in a very small amount of our forces, which is very sad. I'd love to be able to have like a default option. I think they used to have that in Warband in certain mods, where if the player character gets eliminated, then there's a default option to fall back on a certain order. I'm not entirely sure if that actually happens in Bannerlord as well, because I know that there's a couple of extra options that I haven't really explored too much in Chaos's tweaks. But, oh well, whatever the case, we did end up losing 73 units here. That is not particularly good. But we have taken this, and this has solidified our territory in this area, and that's all I really wanted to do. It doesn't really matter whether I achieve victory or not. I mean, whether I live, that is. Because as long as we take it, that is all that matters. So, I'm pretty happy with how that's gone, although, yeah, still kind of annoyed that I died. Oh well, never mind. Let's go for tier 5 units for the training. And obviously my forces are going to be placing a bunch of units in the garrison here as well, which is somewhat irritating too, but you know, what can you do about that? And otherwise we're just going to sell 15,000 gold's worth of loot, and then we're just going to wait here for some time, because no doubt these Vlandians, they're not going to be making a siege here. There is no way they would be able to do that. They're just going to lose way too many units, and it's just not going to be worth it for them, so I'm pretty happy with that. Anyway, seems to me like we shouldn't have too many difficulties from here on out, and unless, and this is kind of there's a big chance of this, unless the enemy decides to declare war against us, and I'm talking about the Palatians here. The Palatians, they are looking pretty good right now, so it's highly likely that they might decide to declare war against us, and if they do decide to do that, we might be in some trouble. Because the Cortanian Vlandians, they still have a decent amount of combat strength. I mean, you can see that right here. They have over 3,000. They're not, you know, they're not the Battanians or the Khuzait where they have, you know, near to 2,000 or under 2,000. It's just, you know, they're pretty strong, as you can see. The Palatians also have 5,000, so we would be fighting a faction relatively similar to our combat strength if they both band together and fight us at the same time, which would not be very nice of them. But anyway, my forces are slowly gathering more and more units in the varieties of different garrisons that I have in the area, which is also the reason why I wanted to take Dunglanis quite badly, because now I'm going to be able to very quickly and easily resupply our own armies. As you can see right here, they have enough units for us, so we're just going to be taking a bunch of these. Not the tier 3s though, of course. And then we'll just take the tier 5s and the tier 4s. We'll take a couple of tier 3s, I guess, even though it's not something that I badly want to do. But we really need to resupply our own armies. So that's exactly what we're going to do now. So Bothero, where are you? There you are. Okay, so let's give him a bunch of good units. I'm just going to level up a couple more people. Look at that, 25 units, really? 25 units? Look at Bothero. His leadership, or shall we say his steward skill, has gone up quite dramatically, so I'm pretty happy with that. Let's continue to give him some units here. I don't really want to give him any cavalry if I can help it, because I would much prefer to keep those for myself, if at all possible. So what about here? And maybe we can just give him some of these. Yeah, let's give him some of those. There we go. Okay, so he has 142 out of 149 now, which is pretty good. And Zoana needs something as well. So let's see what she can take here. I'm wondering whether I should just give her really high tier units. Some Rodok Sergeants could be useful. Let's give her some tier 5s. She has 147 capacity too, which is kind of insane if you think about it. Let's give her some of these. And some Vegio Archers, and there you go. Okay, that's exactly 147, and I think, yeah, I am way below the amount that I should have in my army, so I'm going to make a brief stopover in Veluca while I head on to, I'm thinking we're probably going to take Kalfeld Castle. Oh, we actually had a, whoa, really? They were defeated? Are you serious? That's actually really surprising to me. I would not have expected any of our people to be defeated at this point, but alright, okay. That might be a bit problematic then, okay. I'm not entirely sure what to do as a result of that now. Okay, well, let's just get ready then, I guess. We'll get ready for the siege. I think we should continue to be as aggressive as possible, because usually the AI doesn't really know what to do when you're super aggressive. So I'm going to try and continue to do that. But I have a feeling they're probably going to try and take Dunglanis with that army. Potentially. If they do decide to try and take that, then it's going to be an easy thing to take it back. So it's not that big a deal. And you can see here that there's only 244 in the garrison at Calfeld Castle. And the main reason why I didn't go for Galend is because I think that that is probably going to be attacked by the army that I saw in the south. Hashan's army is obviously down there, and I'm thinking that he's probably going to want to try and take that himself. So that's why I'm leaving him to it. Anyway, we have... I think we're ready for this. I think so. So let's go in. I actually wanted to check to see whether I had the Lance of Destiny, equipped, but I don't think it was. So it should be okay. Yeah, we're fine. We're fine. And hopefully the same thing will not happen again, because obviously we did have a bit of a problem with the archers in the previous siege. I'm not entirely sure what happened there, to be honest. They completely outmatched me in almost every single respect. I think I was just way too passive. I think that's what I've got to try and avoid as well. When those situations occur, I cannot let up. I have to go and get in their space very quickly, and I have to eliminate them fast. Because if they gang up on me, and they both have different attack speed weapons, it can make a big difference to how effective they are at defending themselves, and it can really spell doom for me. So that's obviously something we want to try and avoid. As you can see, getting these guys out of there really fast, and then trying to get... Ooh. Okay, this is maybe not going to work out. Oh dear. Go. Get out of here. Get out of here. Can I push them? Yes. Fantastic. This is exactly what I wanted to do. Did not want to fade into the stairs, though, weirdly enough. That was kind of strange. But if I can just eliminate these guys fast, that is all I want to do. There we go. What? There's a doorway, but no stairs? That's hilarious. Okay. Okay, wait a minute. Hello there. I just have to be very careful with what I do now. I cannot be in a situation where I get myself killed again. I thought that was a guy, but it was just the shield stuck in the stairs. Okay, here we go. Okay, yeah, I've got to be careful here. I'm gonna go up to the archer's nest. I think that's probably going to be the best thing that I can possibly do. I'm gonna tell my people to charge in as well. It's about time that I do that. Hopefully, many of the enemy units on the battlements have been taken care of. The stairs are really troublesome for some reason. Oh, that guy literally just fainted. Okay, fantastic. And otherwise, I will hopefully be able to deal with the fellows down here now. Maybe I can switch to my crossbow or something like that. And maybe we can do something like so. Let me just switch to this. Shoot him. There we go. Nice. Got him in the shoulder. Being shot from somewhere? Oh, hello there. Where did they come from? Did you see that? It's like they appeared out of nowhere or something. Kind of strange. Ah, it looks as though there's someone up there, actually. I'm going to go up there real quick just to eliminate them, because there's probably going to be something that's causing us not to be able to achieve victory. It might be this guy. There we go. He's doing a jig! Look at that! Look at his leg! He's like, yeah, I like this soundtrack. Oh, never mind. His massage has ended. His massage chair ran out of money or something. I have no idea. Anyway, there you go. I always love the ragdolls. When they interact with siege equipment or whatever, it's always absolutely hilarious. Anyway, that's going to be it for this siege, I believe. There we go. Yep. Only 2 more enemies needed to be eliminated, and that is it. Yeah, that guy would have completely delayed us, but you can see how much more effective it is if I stay alive. I don't even have to get kills. All I need to be able to do is tell our forces to charge and take out some tactical, strategically placed people. And that's it. And then usually we're going to have a much easier time, or my AI friends are going to have a much easier time of taking, taking the ground and not being stopped too easily. Anyway, I'm not going to claim this because I don't particularly want a castle. Actually, maybe I should actually claim these things because they're going to be good bargaining pieces potentially. I know some people have told me to do that in the past, and I've always thought, yeah, that's actually a good idea. But then I always forget whenever I take a castle. I always think to myself, I don't really want to take care of a castle, but maybe it would probably be a good idea to do that nevertheless. Oh well. Let's just sell these prisoners, and we do have a vote coming up. I mean, technically I could vote on this, and maybe that would make a difference somehow. Yeah, most of these people already have a pretty decent amount with me, so it doesn't really make much difference to me to decide on this or not. Ah, now there is Aldrich's army. Where is he? Okay, so he's going to defend Galend. That is actually perfect for us. You can see there, he's not even going to make it in time, in my opinion. I mean, you see how far away he is. He's here, and Galend is over here, and there's only 100 units remaining. I mean, I obviously don't know how quick Hashan is going to be, but I'm going to just go in and take this castle right here. Look at that. Yeah, see, Galend was taken. That was super, super fast. Ooh, there's another army. Well, this is a bit problematic. Besieging Dunglanis, this particular person is. And I have turned into Yoda for some reason. But there you go. Alright, Oh, are you serious? You're seriously allowing me to complete this? She actually allowed me to complete my siege preparations. Is that a strategic... I'm wondering, wait a minute. Is that a strategic, I don't even know what to call it, to be honest. Is that like a strategy that she's using right there? Because just think about this. If she lets me take this, or if she lets me go in and take the castle, then I'm going to have to inevitably defend this against Aldrich, potentially. And she's then going to go on to Dunglanis and then potentially besiege that. Whereas, if she engages me right now, she has the possibility of losing. And so, what she's probably doing is waiting for Aldrich's army to reinforce her. So I'm going to return to the siege, and then we'll lead the assault straight away. And then we'll reinforce it with some of our companions' units, as we do, because that usually is what happens. But this is... it's a bit of a gambit, It's a bit of a gambit for her, because on the one hand, I feel like this is kind of... I don't know. I mean, it could also be a way to trap us in the fief itself, because if she is fast enough, she can start a siege almost immediately as soon as Aldrich has... come in to reinforce. And then it's literally going to be, what, 1,300 units attacking our defending forces? And that is going to be almost unstoppable. That's going to be very, very difficult for me to win against. So there's that. That might be the reason why she's doing that. Or it could just be, a pure, analysis of the combat strength, and that's it. That could be it as well. Okay, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna try and get down to the front gate. And I'm going to tell everyone to charge in. Is this guy going to open it? He opened it! What a beast! Look at him, look at him. He's actually doing it. Oh, now that is actually amazing. Did you see that? He came in from some unknown place. I have no idea how he got in there. Maybe he has a portal gun or something. Maybe he's been playing Splitgate or something along those lines. Maybe that's what he was doing. That is actually crazy. That he was able to... I'm actually... Oh, look. They actually closed the gate. Okay, wait a minute. Can I open this up? I can. Oh, and then they closed it. Are you Wait a minute. This is easy to get down. The outer gate is the main problem. The inner gate is not that big a deal. So if I actually just hit this a little bit, we should be able to get in here without too many difficulties. I mean, obviously this is not really going to make that much difference because, I mean, if you just take a look at the combat strength at the top of the screen right now, we are quite obviously going to be fine. But this is actually a good test, because this gives us the opportunity to head inside, and I'm thinking I might just damage it a little bit more, just so if I do get locked out again, or if someone gets locked out, then they're going to be able to easily get inside. I mean, the outer gate is the main problem. That's the one with all the HP. That's the one that you need the help with the battering ram. That's the reason why you take a battering ram. But if you can open that one up, and then protect it, or damage the inner gate enough so that it is, well, effectively useless, then you're going to have an easy time. So thanks for that, by the way. Thank you for letting me know that you can actually do that, because I've tried it in the past, and it didn't seem to really work for me at the time. I'm not entirely sure if I was just doing it wrong, probably. But thank you for letting me know, and indeed reminding me that there is a possibility that that can happen, because that opens up so many additional ways that we can infiltrate these various little places and make it so that our forces can do just that much more. It's actually kind of insane. Anyway, I'm gonna claim this time. I know I said, hey, you know what, let's probably not claim this because of X thing or whatever, but yeah, I think it's actually a good idea to claim it. We're gonna go for 250, I think, in this castle. And there we go. That seems pretty good. All right, so now what we're going to do is we're just going to wait here for some time. We're going to see what happens. The AI is not deciding to attack. Oh, but Unkid is. As you can see here. That is actually kind of surprising. Mainly because I'm going to give this to Hashan, because he was the one that led the army to take it. So it kind of makes sense that he gets it, right? Anyway. I'm very surprised that the Aserai decided to declare war on us, because we had no war support whatsoever against them. And I suppose that means that in our faction, no one harbored any kind of ill will towards the Aserai, but it seems like Unkid certainly does. And he really, really wants to stick it to us, apparently. Oh well, never mind, I suppose. So, let's see. Yeah, so how are we doing otherwise? So, there is no war support against the Palatians any further, because, of course, we are at war against two different factions now, which is obviously going to make a pretty significant problem for us. And the war exhaustion with the Cortanians is quite good. I feel like it's quite good for us. So, I feel like we should be able to do quite well here, because if we can force the Cortanians into a surrender, or into just, you know, getting their war exhaustion to max out, then we should be alright. And I think the best way to do that would be to take either Praven or Oxhall. And I'm thinking, I don't know, I'm thinking Praven at this point, because if we can take that, that's gonna be, I think that's gonna be a harder hit than taking Oxhall, because I think Praven isn't that their capital or something like that? I think it is. So let's try and besiege it. It's going to take a bit of time to build this, of course. But now that we know we can open up that front gate, this is going to be very amusing. If I can even get inside. But there you go. There's Aldrich. You're a bit slow, Aldrich. You're a bit slow. Medini Castle has now been besieged. That is mine, I believe, isn't it? Yeah, I think I traded for that or something, didn't I? Earlier on in the series. So that is very irritating to me. Yes, that is very irritating. But yeah, well, yeah, can't really do much about it now. I'm all the way in, you know, Cortanian territory. It's going to be extremely difficult for me to get down there. But this is Praven. Let's focus on this for now. And we'll see whether we can get inside and open up the front gate. Because that is going to be our win condition for this one. At least it's going to be the win condition that will actually allow us to win without suffering too many casualties. Because if we do it the other way, it's probably going to be a little bit tricky. But I was really pleased to see that Vegir Iron Guard, or whatever it was called, get into the courtyard and actually open up the gate himself. That was kind of amazing. I mean, you never usually see that kind of thing that the AI does, but when they actually do end up doing something like that, it's always extremely fun to watch. Anyway, let's just get all our people charging in straight away. And what? No enemies? Are you serious? Wow, okay, apparently the ladders are in such a bad position for the defenders right here. I'm very surprised. Never mind. Okay, apparently I did not need to kill that guy. Fantastic. Alright. So now that I've... What? Where'd you come from, you sneaky so-and-so? Yeah, well, never mind. Okay. Yeah, it seems like he just came up the stairs right there. Just plain as day, you know, just being like, oh, I'm here, guys. I'm gonna open up the ballista and try and fire on some people. Let's see if I can get down there. Can I just jump? Apparently it's a bit difficult. You know what? Should I? Oh, I'm gonna take so much damage if I jump down here. This is such an imbecilic move from me if I decide to do that. You know what? I'm gonna jump here. There's an invisible... Are you serious right now? There's literally an invisible wall. Is there an invisible wall right here as well? No, there isn't. Okay, that is a weird design decision. Why is there not an invisible wall over there, but I mean over here, but there is one over there? That is actually kind of strange. I have no idea why that would be the case. I mean, I can understand if there's an invisible wall the whole way. I mean, I can't understand that, to be honest, because that's completely unrealistic, but, you know, it's kind of like, well, why would you do that? Why is there one there, but not in the other place? It's kind of strange. I mean, if you want to prevent people from falling off, then just have an invisible wall the whole way, but there isn't. That's kind of strange. Okay, well, that's fine. I don't mind. I'm basically just happy that I was able to get down here. Took massive damage in the process, of course. That is to be expected. But I'm basically just wanting to get here, open this up, get it. Yes. There we go. And now... Yeah, now they can close it. This is actually going to save my life, because if they would just swarm in here, if they would literally just swarm in here, all of them, at the same time, we would be in a really bad situation. But now I can open this up, and now we can get more people to come in. And I'm just going to hit this a little bit. And hopefully we're going to get some people actually coming in to help me out here as well. I mean, I obviously have no idea where they're going. I mean, they might be just using the ladders. If they use the ladders, then that's absolutely fine. But generally, I would like to see some people come here and help me out. And there you go. Oh, look. Oh, my. What? Okay, there's a whole bunch of people right here. There's a whole bunch of my forces surrounding them. Oh, look at that. Some guy literally ran here to try and suicidally... close the gate. I have no idea why you would do that, to be honest, because, you know, the whole keep has been taken, and I was literally just hitting a gate for half of it. Oh, well, never mind. As you can see, we lost basically no one, just purely for the fact that we have so many high-tier units. And, I mean, if you take a look here, this is exactly the reason. A lot of people have been asking me, hey, you know, what are your difficulty settings? Well, as I said before, I'm playing on personal player damage on, like, medium setting. Because I found that with it on, I basically die instantly from just one headshot, and it's kind of like, you know, not so fun. but everything else is on max, and that's it. So, yeah, but generally the main reason why we're not having any issues, you know, taking these things right now is just purely for the fact that I have tier 5 units, tier 4 units all across the board, and most of the garrisons that we're facing right now, they generally have only militia or very few very good units for them to attack us with, and that's the reason. Anyway, let's go into the keep. We're gonna do a little bit of management right here. Recruit. Let's get some. Let's get 350 or so, and there we go. Okay. Hopefully my things are not going to get taken in Azerite territory because I have Askar and Nikrish, and I can only hope that the garrisons down there are going to be enough for us to stave off any kind of invasion. Not entirely sure if we're going to be able to do that. But look at the difference it makes. Look at the difference it makes. Just taking a couple of towns, a couple of castles. Look at our territory. We are enclosing the Cortanians right now. And bear in mind that their war exhaustion is looking pretty good too. And I'm hopeful that we will be able to take Valenby as well, potentially. I would like to be able to take that too, but I have to be very careful about Praven itself, because we cannot just leave it now and expect it to be safe, because there's no garrison there whatsoever. So we'll see what happens in the next episode. I thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time.